This is the Hammer Down Racing Report. And now your hosts, Scott Hammer, Ron Miller, and Jerry Keyser.
Welcome, race fans, to the Hammer Down Racing Report for Thursday, December 9th, show number 208. It is the Hammer Down Racing Report presented by Oakshade Raceway. Coming at you live from the Ron Miller Race Cars Studios. This is just one studio.
Yeah.
Jerry under the weather today, so he's having some health issues, so we wish him the best. He's not going to be joining us. Who will be joining us tonight, though, are Toledo Speedway champions. I guess they're technically Toledo Speedway champions, even though they have a couple of point races at Flat Rock.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure how that works out, but we got Ron Allen and Jeff Metdepenningen.
There you go.
Yeah, I've been working on it. Two champions tonight from Toledo Speedway. We'll be talking to you in a moment, so stick around for that. Also, all your favorite things we normally do. We have How Many coming up a little bit later. Your chance to win some Big D's Pizza and all the latest racing news and some breaking news, actually, coming out of the Oakshade banquet. This week. So a lot of stuff to cover tonight. Coming at you live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Make sure to like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Our handle's at Hammer Report. You can also listen to us on your favorite podcasting platform, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Check out HammerDownRacingReport.com for more information. Also, the store is on there. If you want some Hammer Down Racing Report apparel.
The swag.
There you go. Just go to HammerDownRacingReport.com, click on store, and you can do some shopping there. Yeah. And also, time running out to vote for us for Toledo City Paper's Best of Toledo. Head on over to ToledoCityPaper.com or go to our Facebook page. I have the post pinned with a direct link on our on the Hammer Down Racing Report Facebook page. December 15th. I think that's Wednesday next week. So this will probably be the last night we're bugging you to vote for us. So make sure to vote for us under the podcast category. We're one of the 6 finalists, again, for the third out of the last 4 years. Haven't actually won it yet, but I guess we're making an effort now. So we'll see what happens. I don't know what you're doing there. I can't read it from here.
Business.
Okay, cool.
Somebody wants to bring a car over.
Oh, imagine that. It's not me this time. Not yet, at least. Oakshade Raceway, we're the fastest meet to race every Saturday night during racing season. Make sure to follow them on social or visit oakshaderaceway.com. Summer Nationals coming back on, and we got some Summer National news, too, that just came out. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Summer Nationals birthday race at Oakshade is July 16th next year. Saturday night. Another new track going to be following Oakshade this year on Sunday night. We'll talk about that. And if you want gift certificates, looking for Christmas gifts, and you don't want Hammer Down Racing Report swag, maybe you want some to give some tickets to Oakshade. You can get some gift certificates from Oakshade Raceway. Contact them on Facebook, or you might be able to get a hold of them if you're lucky. At the probably not. Just contact them on Facebook because they're probably not going to be at the track.
Nah.
I don't think there's heat out there.
I think I read that
although it's supposed to be warm next week.
Yeah, I think I read that Terry is still convalescing under house arrest, so he won't be there.
I also have to thank Big D's Pizza Subs, Ribs, Chicken, and more in Clyde. Give them a call right now. Order some pizza. You'll have it before the end of the show, most likely. Not guaranteeing it, but probably, depending on where you live. 419-547-1444. You can order online as well at orderbigdspizza.com. Try the soft pretzel sticks with a cup of mild cheese sauce. I also have to thank Freeze Frame Photos for all your racing photo needs, from action shots to victory lane. They'll have your favorite drivers. They'll have your least favorite drivers. They'll have drivers you don't care about, too. Really. They got them all.
And drivers that you didn't even remember.
Drivers you don't even know, probably. Yeah, he's got old pictures,
He
too.
does. They go way, way back.
He's got some pretty cool old pictures. If you want to do a special photo shoot, he can do that by appointment as well. Talking about Charlie there at Freeze Frame Photos, special moments frozen in time. 419-476-9978. And I'm working on getting a custom calendar. He does
Did you see that I posted one of his early photo shoots?
No.
On Facebook?
I missed that. Of you?
Well.
Of who?
I don't know.
You don't know? You do know. You're just not telling me.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Oh, you're talking about the in-car camera.
That's the one.
I got you. Yes, I did see that. Yeah. What was that? What kind of car was that?
I think it was an Indy Roadster.
It was black and white, and,
Yep.
and the guy was on the hood.
Held on with rope.
Did he have, with the camera right in the driver's face. I wonder how that worked out. Also have to thank Ron Miller Race Cars, Dittman Motorsports as well, sponsoring the show. And without further ado, how about we bring in our guests, our honorary guests this week under the banner of Toledo Speedway champions, Jeff Metdepenningen and Ron Allen. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Nice to be on the show with you.
Hey, Ron.
All right. Now, technically, let me add, this is for either of you guys. Are you considered Toledo Speedway champions, or are you Toledo Speedway Flat Rock late model sportsman champion, factory stock champion? How does that work?
Well, they have all the main races are mainly at Toledo, but they have I think it's two that are at
2-point races, yeah.
Yeah, but they all go towards the Toledo Speedway champion. Isn't that right, Ron?
Yeah, that would be, we're considered Toledo because only a couple of the races are at Flat Rock.
All right. Well, then I appropriately titled this episode of the Hammer Down Racing Report then as the Toledo Speedway champions.
You got lucky again, Scott.
Yeah. And we were talking, at least with Jeff here a little bit before the show, about this class of champions. It's the older guys are getting it done. Beating the younger guys out there. How's that make you guys feel? Old?
Yeah.
Well, it just makes you feel like you can still do it.
You can still do it.
Yeah. We've been at it a long time, and
well, I see some trophies.
And the good thing is that means we can do it.
That means you can do it. I see some trophies behind you, Ron. You've done this a few times. This was your 10th late model sportsman championship, but you got at least a couple other championships, don't you?
Yeah, right now we're actually up to 15. So, like I said, that just means been around a while too.
So when did you get your first championship? What was your first championship?
Oh boy, that's a question I don't know. You'd think I would. It took me, I think, 11 years, so it'd be around 91 or so.
All right, so you're spreading them out.
I think it was the year I got my first late model.
What year did you start racing, Ron?
It's weird. I run in first. What's that, Ron?
What year did you start racing?
One race in 1979, and then started full time 1980, and still at it here 40 years later.
That was you started in the late model division, or was that the sportsman division?
No, actually, that was when Sonny owned Toledo, and I started on the quarter mile.
Oh, okay.
Not to make you feel any older, but I remember watching you race when I was in high school. So, and that was a long time ago for me, at least. But
yeah, I remember watching this show 2 years ago, I think it was, when Greg Steerwell was on the show, and Ron, I remember you saying, he's still racing? I thought he was going to retire.
So you got 10 of the late model sportsman championships. Is this just old hat to you now, or does it still mean something to win these championships?
Oh no, it will always mean something. Especially this year, I lost my brother at the beginning of this year, and my brother Gary's raced with me forever. So I didn't know if I was going to race or not, and then a longtime crew guy, Jamie, said that, Gary would want you to do it. So we decided to go ahead and go for it, and And winning this one meant a lot because I used his number in honor of him. So this one really did mean a lot.
Okay.
Same question for you, Jeff. When did you start racing? Since we're talking about a little history here.
I started racing in 1980 at the Mount Clemens racetrack. I raced in the street stock division down there, and that was a long time ago.
Well, jumping ahead here a little bit, I was going to ask you about this. We were kind of talking a little bit before the show, but you're in the Mount Clemens Racetrack Hall of Fame?
Yeah, just found that out not too long ago. They, things have been shut down with the virus and everything and COVID, and they had some banquets, because it's been shut down for so long, like every 5 years or so, they've been having some banquets and inducting some people. And then all of a sudden they came up with some inductees, and fortunately I was one of them, and along with all my other three brothers. So all four of us are in it. So that's pretty special.
Well, that's pretty cool, and it really is an honor.
So
Absolutely.
when did Mount Clemens close down? I remember seeing old videos from like the 80s, early 80s, but that's
Mount Clemens closed down in 1985.
1985. Oh, my dad used to go there, I believe. He wants to know if you ever ran the 00 at Mount Clemens.
I did. I ran the 00 one season, and I watched it for years and years. And then when you raced it, boy, that was a lot harder race to run than what you thought. Coming off the half mile super fast and having to slow way down for the quarter mile, the tight turns there into 1 and 2 and downshifting. Boy, that looked a lot easier sitting in the grandstands than it did driving it. I'll tell you that much.
Now, I've never seen one of those, but I'm guessing the idea is each lap you go around the half mile and then make a loop through the quarter mile and then come back out to the half mile and kind of keep doing that, right? So you got crisscrossing traffic there on the front stretch.
Exactly. It's kind of like a figure eight, only with a lot bigger tracks and a lot faster speed.
Yeah.
It was a really good race. The fans really loved it. And from what I heard, Auto City tried doing it one time, if I remember right. But it was a great race. Fans really liked it.
Would it work at Toledo Speedway?
Yeah. It would probably work at Toledo Speedway. Absolutely.
What do you think, Ron? Would you do it? 00 at Toledo?
I think asked me if I would do it. I actually have raced the 00 at Mount Clemens one time, and I didn't know anything about downshifting. So them guys were blowing by me on the little quarter mile, and I didn't find out till afterwards that you need to shift when you go down there and then shift coming back up.
Is that the key, Jeff?
Pardon me?
Is that the key? Shifting?
Boy, absolutely. You got to downshift. And then of course, you gotta have the engine speed right with the speed of the car and everything. And if you ain't got it right, you're spinning around, going around in circles. And if you don't hit your brakes just right to get around that corner, they used to call it the swamp or the moat. You were off in the moat.
Oh boy.
Now this was your third championship, Jeff?
It's my third championship. Yep.
In the factory stock?
Nope. I have 2 in the enduro class.
Okay.
And 1 in the factory stock. 2 at Flat Rock, 1 at Toledo.
And how does this compare to those other 2 championships winning the factory stock at Toledo?
This one was kind of special. It's the factory stocks, the big D8 cars, and everything. And we started out with the 4-cylinder Neon. Bench racing one night in the garage with me and Arnold Kirsch. We had built this Neon, several years ago, and we're kind of bench racing in the garage one night. And Arnold's like, "What are we going to do with this 4-cylinder car?" And we're like, "Oh, I don't know." And I think between me and him, we said, "Well, let's take it down to Toledo and see what we can do, with the factory stocks down there." And we took it down there, and right from the get-go, we ran pretty decent. We never really got the handling down perfect, but, I mean, we were in the hunt every night. And it got towards the end of the season, and we were kind of in the championship battle, and we're like, it was kind of like taking a knife to the gunfight with all the big V8 cars and that, 4-cylinder. We didn't quite, I mean, we could run up front, but we really didn't have enough to win. So we decided to bring out one of my enduro cars and finish out the season if we thought we had a chance at winning the championship. So that's what we did. We brought out the enduro car for the rest of the season. There were only like 2 or 3 races at the end there, and we were able to finish it up. But me and my buddy Arnold Kirsch, I know you guys know him.
Jeff, I was just going to talk to you about that. He's headed off in a different direction with his racing next year. Are you going to be involved with that at all?
Yeah. Arnold's really been getting into the dirt racing here. We actually took that 4-cylinder Neon car, 2020, when everything was shut down at Toledo and Flat Rock. We ended up going up to Tri-City Speedway and Merritt Speedway.
Right.
They were still racing up there. And we took it up there and ran with their 4-cylinder cars, and we had a blast. And we've really been getting into the dirt racing here lately. And Arnold's got an old late model that's been sitting in the garage that's, outdated. And we're like, what can we do with that car? So there's some classes that we can take and run it on the dirt. And we might go up to, we're going to go up to Silver Bullet Speedway and give it a shot up there and just go have some fun.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So you ran the 4-cylinder for the first part of the more than the first half of the season,
probably
in the factory stacks
of the season down there at Toledo. Yep. We did pretty good with it. We never really got it handling the way we wanted to, but Richard Petty always said you'd rather be lucky than good, and we were probably more lucky than good and had a lot of good finishes with it, and we never really had enough to really battle for the win. But I think we came in second one night, third, fourth, and like I said, we were getting close to the end there, and it's like, man, we better bring a gun to the gunfight. So that's when we switched over.
Well, I understand there's going to be at least one of the big Ford Crown Vics in that class next year. You're going to have the 4-cylinder car there again?
Well, we're kind of undecided what we got going on for next year. With possibly this dirt racing, we're not sure what we're going to do yet. We kind of need to have a team meeting. We might even have it. Tonight here and see what's going on for next year.
There we go.
Ron, I want to get back to you here. We got 2 Hall of Famers here because Ron Allen actually was inducted into the Michigan Motorsports Hall of Fame, the class of 2020 last year. As a matter of fact, how big of a thing was that for you, Ron?
Oh, that was absolutely huge. I mean, to be inducted and even be mentioned in the same sentence with all the guys that are in that Hall of Fame. I mean, those are the best of the best, the guys I looked up to, something I never dreamed of when I started racing. When I heard that I was making it in actually 2020, it just blew me away that here I am, a guy that used to get in every wreck that there was, and now I'm into the Hall of Fame with, you can't even list all the greats that are in there, from Ed Howe to Seneca and Freddie Campbell and just on and on. I mean, to me, that's just a top honor that you can get.
Longevity has its place there.
Yeah, it took me a while to figure it out. So I guess good thing I've stuck around this long.
Now you've raced against some memorable names, I'm sure. Who are some of your favorite competitors that you've raced against over the years?
Oh man, back in the day, there's a lot of good racers now, but back when, back in the 80s and 90s, you had Fair, Seneca, Kuhlman, Tim Ice. And there were just so many. Freddie Campbell. to me, that was just the air of racing. You know, them guys were all great, and well, you better came to the racetrack prepared if you were going to run with them guys.
Yep.
Now you had 2 wins this year. Tell us about your wins that you got this year.
Well, it was really funny. You know, we got them wins towards the end of the year. It's like something happened at the racetrack with 3 races to go, and it changed my whole attitude. It was like, all right, it's time to get to work and time to drive this race car. And in the last 3 races, we had 2 wins in the feature, a second, 2 heat race wins, and a fast time qualifier. So it was good. I mean, I needed a kick in the butt. And they always say, don't tick somebody off because it may come back and bite you in the end. And it did, and it got me the championship.
So have you ticked people off in the past? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, somebody ticked me off.
Oh, I got you.
I like to drive pretty. Yeah, I like to say I'm a pretty clean driver. When you drive me dirty, sometimes it just gets me fired up, and that's exactly what it did. And I went from 45 points behind with 2 races to go to winning the championship.
I don't suppose you want to name any names.
Nah, that's okay. You know, it's, we're all
You're
competitors
wise
out there. You know,
He's got the experience.
but yeah, you know, the thing is, even back when I raced street stocks years ago for a car owner, Bill Meade, the big joke was he was always going to kick me off before I went out to race because I drove a lot better. So that's what happened this year.
Well, now everybody knows your secret, so everybody's going to be super nice to you next year.
Yeah, I doubt that.
Now, Jeff, you also had 2 wins as well. Tell us about your 2 wins this year.
Well, I had a win at Flat Rock Speedway. That was with one of the enduro cars that my son Kyle drives. You guys had him on a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
He ended up winning the enduro championship there at Flat Rock, co-champion. And like I said, it was getting close to the championship. We were battling real close with Steve Smith. And I wanted to do good, so I hopped in that car and won the one at Flat Rock. And then on the championship night down at Toledo, we were only 10 points ahead of Steve Smith. And we qualified good. We ended up breaking the track record down there with the car. And we had a good heat race. And was running good in the feature. We were running second, and I was happy with second. We were going to win the championship. And Randy Pan Jr. was leading, and he kind of drifted up real big coming on a 4 with a couple laps to go. And I was like, holy cow, he left a big hole open. I think I got to go for it. So I went for it and ended up passing him for the lead with a couple laps to go, and ended up win the championship race and the championship. So that was pretty special.
That's a big night.
Definitely a good way to cap off the championship season.
Absolutely. It was a good feeling. So I was glad to do that.
Now we kind of touched on this a little bit. I know Ron asked you what your plans are for next year. It sounds like you may be having a meeting coming up after the show here to discuss things. Any chance you'll go dirt racing? Are you gonna stick on the pavement? Or what are your options, I guess?
Well, like anything, it all depends on what kind of financial backing you're getting and how much money you got to spend with. And right now, the dirt racing seems to be a lot less expensive as far as tire-wise. With us guys on the asphalt, buying tires every week gets really, really expensive. And with the dirt racing, from what we've been talking to everybody, they're only buying, 2-3 sets of tires a year. Where, Ronnie can tell you this. So, I mean, when you're going asphalt racing, I mean, you're bolting on a new set of tires every night. I mean, every time I race my car, it costs me $800 a night, and that gets pretty expensive. So
now, was the four-cylinder car as expensive on tires as?
Absolutely not. We were running street tires on that car, and we had run them all year long. But like I said, we weren't we weren't in the hunt to win every night. I mean, we kind of got lucky, had a lot of good finishes, kind of survived a bunch of crashes and stuff like that. And so, yeah, that car was by far really cheap to run. But once we stepped up to the Enduro car, the big V8 car, you need to have some good tires on it every night. So it gets a little bit more expensive. So that's kind of why we like the dirt racing. We actually ran that 4-cylinder car a couple times down there at Oakshade. Had a lot of fun. It was fun. And, got a little taste of that. And we're kind of liking it and having some fun.
All right. So you will be racing in some form or another next year.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ron, go ahead, Jeff.
Go ahead. Whether it be down at Flat Rock for a little while, and then my buddy Arnold, he likes to race the street stock down at Flat Rock while it's nice and cool out, and when the weather starts getting hot, he likes to go play on his boat. So he says maybe instead of going playing on the boat, we'll go do some dirt racing.
All right. Ron, before I ask you what your plans are for next season, Jamie Moore had a question here. How many features did Ron win? You won 2 this year. How many features have you won throughout your career, going back to 1980? Do you remember? Can you count them all?
I think we're right about 140 feature races right now.
Wow. That you won.
That I won, yeah. Yeah, that's feature win.
I don't think I've been in that many features just in them.
That's because you're a rookie, Scott.
So what are your plans, Ron, for next year? You're going to defend or go for another late model Sportsman track championship?
Well, we don't have nothing set in stone yet. Just like Jeff said, it depends on the finances. We're actually looking at running the big street stock race up at Onaway, and possibly running, if I can get a little help, running the Wheelman Series races at Sandusky.
Really? So that's a good series,
got a lot of stuff
Ron.
In the work. What's that, Ron?
I say that's a really good series, and it's being promoted well. I hope that it hangs around a long time.
Yeah, I sort of been watching it from the background to see, and you know what? Like Jeff tells you, on the pavement, you have to put 4 tires a night on. So if you got to do that, you might as well go race where they're paying more money.
Yep.
Makes sense. So, so we might see you in some different things. Any chance we'll see Ron race dirt? Has Ron ever raced dirt? And now I'm talking Ron in third person.
Believe it or not, yes. I ran dirt in the mid '80s up at Toledo Speedway in ARCA. It was called ARCA Permatex Series back then.
Mm-hmm.
And we spun out qualifying, started dead last. And I think I ended up finishing 7th or 8th, which got me a ride in a Permatex car at Atlanta International. So
from running
I'd
on the
love
dirt?
to try dirt. I mean, it's fun.
Nice. Okay.
Come on, Ronnie, you're leaving out your go-kart career down there at Palmyra, where I caught you down there racing.
Yeah, that's different.
That's different.
But yeah, the thing about the dirt is it is a lot of fun, so and that's about where you need to be anymore racing. You have to have fun because it's expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, everything's getting more expensive. Do you guys have problems getting tires, the asphalt tires this year with the tire shortages, or was that not an issue with the pavement?
Well,
Jump in there, Ron.
Yeah, at the end of the year here, they limited us to 2 tires per night compared to 4. We could always get 4, but then they limited us to 2 at Flat Rock and at Toledo. But at the PRI show, the ARCA booth, or not the ARCA booth, the Hoosier booth.
Which is where you are now, right, Jeff?
Yep. I'm at the hotel room over at PRI in Indianapolis. We were there all day today. And the Hoosier booth there, I was talking to the gentleman there that's a representative for that handles Flat Rock Toledo Speedway tire deal, and he says it's going to be the same thing this year as it was at the end of the year. Where
I've heard that things are not going to improve significantly in 22.
That's basically what he said. He said it'll be at least 2023 before they're kind of hoping things get back to normal. But there's definitely still a shortage right now.
Did he tell you about their employee shortage and some of those issues?
Yes. I think I heard it from you guys on the show here that they had hired like 100 employees and like only 5 of them stuck around. And he said, they're definitely having issues getting employees and getting supply materials and getting their inventory back up to where it needs to be for the next season. So, yeah, there's definitely going to be some issues next year.
Yeah, we talked about, what were those Chinese tires that they're running in Australia?
Yeah.
I wonder if that may come
into
into play next season to fill in the gap.
They have a dirt late model tire that on the outside looks similar to a Hoosier. Gosh, what was the name of that?
I can't think of it.
Something or another industry too.
Yeah. Anyway, well, if it comes to you.
I remember you guys talking about that. I don't know if it was last week or the week before.
A few weeks ago. But, we asked this of all of our champions. This is for both you guys here. And really, it's just between you two in a race on tricycles. There you go. You've had some time to think about this, Jeff. So who's it going to be? We'll make it just down the quarter mile front stretch at Toledo Speedway. Who's gonna win that drag race in the tricycles?
Ronnie's a mailman. I don't know. Ronnie, do you walk or ride in your
I walk.
route?
Yeah, so I walk my route every day.
So you've got the legs.
Well, then see, he's got the advantage right there. He walks all day long.
Yeah.
So he's got the advantage. I put my money on Ron then.
So Ron's gonna win that. All right. You're limited to 1 tire though. You can only get 1 tire on that tricycle.
He's a walk. You ever seen a guy? He's skinny as a rail.
Yeah, all that walking.
All that walk. You guys want to shout out to your sponsors or folks that helped you, Ron? You want to go first here?
Yeah, I got to help Fast Time Racing engines and parts, and then environmentals. Without our sponsors, we just can't do it. And then, like I said, longtime helper Jamie Moore. He became my spotter this year, and he really he kept me going, and he keeps racing fun. And then I got another guy, Jim and Mike, that helped me. Without these people, I can't do it. I'm the one that gets to have a lot of the fun, but they also over here, and they help me do a lot of the work.
Jeff, what about you? Did we lose you?
Uh-oh. Jeff froze.
Just like Ron says, I'm the lucky guy behind the wheel. Oh, am I there?
Yep, you're here now.
You were a little delayed. Go ahead.
Okay. I got a lot of people to thank. My 2 older brothers, Rob and Dennis, that helped me get into this. Helped them for years, and they've helped me through the years. My brother, Chris, big part of my racing program. He's helped me since day one. I got my 2 boys, Race and Kyle, that help me all the time. My good friend Randy Gallagher. Obviously, my good friend Arnold Kirsch helps me a lot. And as far as sponsor-wise, real good friend of mine, Dave Rule, Dave Kensler helped me out. And my niece Amanda has been helping me out this year. She's coming to the racetrack. Well, she hasn't been for a while, but she came out this year and helped. It's always good to have a woman on the team, bringing drinks and snacks and stuff like that. So that's good. And
my crew chief's a woman. Here.
Mine too.
There you go. Isn't that awesome? And hey, and of course, you always got to thank the wife. She puts up with a lot of hours out in the garage, not being home. And, that always, and I can't forget my grandson, Jacob. And lately here, we've been doing a little YouTube channel, Wow Racing YouTube. And between my son, Kyle, and my grandson, they do like reporting on our racing every week, and they put it out on YouTube. And that's been kind of fun, and it's been kind of growing and taking off a little bit. So, Wow Racing, on YouTube. So, let me see. Did I forget anybody? I think that's it. But obviously, it's great to have a lot of help. So that's awesome.
Cool. Any chance we'll see either you guys at the Hangover race on January 1st at Sandusky Speedway?
That's a lot of fun.
I've always wanted to go there and watch.
If you're going to go there, you might as well bring a race car.
I don't think you'll see me there. I'm not much of a cold weather guy, I like to stay warm.
What about you, Ron?
I'm sorry I didn't hear the question. My phone didn't show him.
Any chance that we'll see you at Sandusky for the Hangover race here in a couple of weeks?
I don't know. Not with a car, that's for sure. I mean, I quit doing that years ago. So we may come hang out, or I may go to that, I think it's Ohio Valley auction. I've never been to that one. That's the first and second, but I don't know. If I don't have to work, you never know with the post office.
Well, my trailer will have heat if you're there.
I'll be using
Good enough.
You betcha.
Yeah, Ryan, we're going to come down and root you on.
Well, he sold his car, so
one of them.
Yeah, the outlaw thing.
Yeah.
So you're going to be racing against your own car, aren't you?
Yeah, but the last 3 years that's been kind of stuck in the garage, and we've run the late model with the sideboards. So yeah, we'll be all right.
All right. Well, thank you guys. A couple of Hall of Famers here, track champions at Toledo Speedway. We appreciate you guys coming on and talking to us tonight.
Well, thank you very much. It's my pleasure. I watch you guys all the time.
We appreciate somebody watching us all the time.
Yes. All right, guys. We'll see you.
Thanks a lot.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. There you go. Ron Allen and Jeff Metdepenningen.
Woohoo!
Nailed it. I'm working on saying that name. Now, if he's going to be running dirt, then I'm definitely going to have to get that down there. It's not fair. Gary Lindahl and these guys, they got an advantage there. They've been saying his name a few times. Coming up, we have tonight's How Many, your chance to win a Big D's Pizza, and a lot of racing news to cover here. A couple of racing events, a racing roundup from last weekend, the Gateway Dirt Nationals and the Snowball Derby both going on. Gateway Dirt Nationals, Tyler Carpenter, he won Thursday's preliminary. There was a little bit of controversy with that.
Which one?
Not really with him, more so Ricky Thornton Jr.'s comments. I was going to play that, but there was, I think I might have had to tick the adult thing for the podcast.
Yeah, you'd have heard nothing but beeps.
There's a lot of F words coming out there, and yeah. So Yeah, he
I
was.
guess Joe Biden got a lot of, speaking of, I guess Joe Biden got a lot of coverage there too.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I don't care about any political crap. All that stuff.
Whatever.
So anyways, Tyler Carpenter ended up winning. Was it Brandon Shepard and Ricky Thornton? It was the three of them. I think it was B. Shep. They were all three racing. They were three wide at one point. They were being held up behind a couple of cars running at the tail end of the lead lap that were running side by side. Carpenter tried to stick his nose in the middle, and the one car on the outside kind of came down, clipped his rear end, and then came across in front of Ricky Thornton. And Thornton, then Thornton went off on Carpenter, who went on to win that race, saying that he was crashing people. But I watched it a couple times. They were all hitting everybody. It was a full contact sport on that little track.
Scott, at $120 a sheet, how much money do you think was spent on just aluminum there that weekend?
They probably took it off and jumped on it and pounded it out. It was all right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those of you that have been out of the loop for a while, race car body panels have gone crazy this year on expense.
Yeah. I might keep my holy panels on.
Absolutely. I've been hearing that from a lot of racers.
Miles Moose was the winner Friday's preliminary. This is in the late models. Rusty Schlenk was down there and competed on Friday, finished 8th. And then Tyler Carpenter won Saturday's main event, the $30,000, and he gets the NASCAR Truck Series ride at Knoxville coming up on June 18th with Nice Motorsports.
Do you think he's going to have to undergo some sensitivity training before he runs a NASCAR race?
I don't know. He'll be under a microscope, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
They'll keep an eye on him.
It'd be great to see a dirt guy wind up with a good NASCAR ride, though.
Yeah, we'll see if he can keep it. But as of as of right now, he's in that race. Also, the midgets were in action. They put on a pretty decent show.
They did.
Jonathan Beeson won Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Swept all 3 nights. Modifieds, it was Nick Hoffman. Nick Hoffman, I guess, accomplished I think I have this a little bit later on in my notes here, but I think Nick Hoffman accomplished a first, running all 3 classes, the modifieds, the midgets, and the late models, and podium finishes.
All 3.
In all 3, yeah. But Hoffman won the first night, Thursday night. Chase Allen was Friday night's winner in the modifieds, and Tyler Peterson won Saturday's deal. So, cool stuff there. Snowball Derby, 5 flags. Chandler Smith picking up the win there. I guess, according to Jeff, he said that they have his car on display
at the PRI show.
PRI, yeah. So, apparently he passed tech. Don't they tear the cars all apart for that?
Oh, my gosh.
No tech issues, though, I guess.
They announced that they were taking the crankshaft out of the engine on the first place car.
Who has to put it back together?
I don't know.
Is it worth winning if they tear your car all apart?
I would imagine that it's time for a freshen up.
Also in action was the Dryden Extreme Dirt Car Series. Corey Hedgecock took the win Saturday at I-75 Speedway. Next up for that series, they're off for the holidays, so they're not going to be back in action until January 15th at Lakeview Motor Speedway in South Carolina on January 15th, and then the Frostbite 40 at Cherokee Speedway the next night, January 16th. Got some racing news to cover here. First, a couple more bills to pay. Dittman Motorsports, performance parts, custom bodies, fabrication, racing fuels, Hoosier tires, and more. Give Craig a call, 419-283-8580. He's got some Hoosier tires, too. At least he did last time I was out there. And make sure to tell him Hammer Down Racing Report sent you. And Ron Miller Race Cars, of course, 734-856-7223. Race cars, parts, safety equipment, service, everything a racer needs. Send him a message during the show. Right? You're doing business during the show. It's all good. We'll bring the car up. 9Z Zyder was the problem. Was that the car that was going a lap down? James, I've seen the comments there.
Oh, okay.
I think, talking about Thursday's late model preliminary at the Gateway Dirt Nationals. Got some racing news here. I don't know if this is really breaking news anymore. Is this breaking news from last Saturday?
Enough.
All right, well, there we go. We'll do the audio portion of the breaking news. The Oakshade Bomber class is no more.
That's done.
That's right. There
There
will be
ain't
no
no
more Oakshade Bombers.
However,
There will be the Dominator Super Stocks. The Oakshade Bombers class has been officially renamed. We've been talking about that for
we have. And,
off and on the past
I
few
think
years.
it was a great move on the part of Oakshade Raceway.
Bentley Shaw and Dominator Race Products picking up sponsorship there and getting the name changed. So they will now be referred to as the Super Stocks. And with that comes increased payout for the A-Main winner, receiving $250 for a regular show.
I wonder if it is going to pay a little bit more all the way back. I'll bet it will.
Well, we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll never see the 250, but if it trickles back, I'm happy with that.
You might.
Maybe someday. So that's
A
that's
couple of
breaking
those nemesis of yours are moving on. So
news. Oh yeah, well,
you might be the heir apparent.
running out of it.
Scott.
I'm running out of excuses now. Hunter Johnson, speaking of the Snowball Derby, was tipped into the fence. Check out this video. We got video of this somewhere in one of these little tabs here. This happened Thursday night, I believe it was, in the preliminary event in the, what are they, the super trucks, sport trucks? I forget what they were classified.
Some
Pro
kind of
truck.
truck.
Pro truck feature. And this was like with two or three laps left that this happened. And you'll see a few replays of this. So check this out.
John Heil.
Fix. If you need your racing fix, hang in there.
There you go.
John Heil trying to sneak in and play. He's in the 96 machine right behind Hunter Johnson. 2 to go. 1 mile remaining. Oh, contact. Oh, my. A terrible crash. A terrible, terrible crash. A terrifying accident. My gosh. I have never in my life seen anything like that. Watch this. Here it comes. The 52. Good Lord Almighty. Wow.
So Hunter Johnson
That's
in
terrifying.
that was indeed it was tipped into the catch fence wall there with head first with the top of the truck going into the wall. This is for our podcast listeners that don't get to see the video. Highly recommend going back and checking out our Facebook Live video if you are listening on the iHeartRadio or whatever and just getting the audio portion of
At
this.
about the 49-minute mark.
There you go. So, Hunter Johnson was tipped into the catch fence at Five Flags last Thursday night. John Hale got into the right rear. Looked to be retaliatory to me because it looked like there might have been a little contact coming off of turn 4, but also looked like Hale kind of got a little loose himself, and then he just came down into him and turned him right across in front of the other truck.
Caught him in the right rear and sent him into the fence.
Yeah. I don't know that any penalties or anything came from that, but all drivers were able to walk away. However, Johnson later checked into the hospital after experiencing back pain on Friday, the day after the crash. Johnson posted the following on his racing team's Facebook page, quote, "Hey everyone, I'm bruised up badly and a broken teeth." Let me start over. Quote, "Hey everyone, I'm bruised up badly and a broken T3 vertebrae. Gonna be in a lot of pain for a bit, sadly." Unquote. So, didn't come out unscathed, but still pretty scary accident there.
That's really fortunate that was all that was wrong.
Yeah, we mentioned Tyler Carpenter winning the Thursday preliminary.
Right.
He was penalized. I don't know what the penalty was. I didn't really say. I couldn't find that out, but he did not have fireproof shoes on.
I heard it was $1,000.
Is that what that's it?
That was what I heard.
Okay. And apparently they didn't notice it until he was jumping on the roof of his car in Victory Lane.
Yeah. and I think somebody else noticed it.
Yeah, so you're supposed to have SFI rated footwear.
Yes, sir.
And he did not. Well, maybe he can afford it now with his $30,000 from Saturday's win.
Yeah. Probably somebody will step forward and sponsor him a pair
There you
of
go.
race shoes.
Chase Elliott beat Tanner Faust to the finish line in his Nitro Rallycross debut, but was later penalized for avoidable contact in the final turn. Did you see that?
I didn't.
It was just the two cars, and it was a little questionable. I mean, he drove it in there hard. It was the final corner going for the win.
He gets paid to win races.
He didn't wreck him, but I mean, he muscled his way past, and he took the checkered flag in his debut, and they penalized him and said, nope, that was avoidable, so Tanner Faust is going to win.
Did he finish second?
Well, yeah, there was two vehicles.
Okay.
So that was it. And then the next night, I think there was 8, and he finished last.
Ooh.
Out of that. So, I don't know. Looks fun, though. For the 4th straight year, Elliott has been named the National Motorsports Press Association's most popular driver. Since 1990, drivers named Elliott or Earnhardt have monopolized the award. Chase's father, Bill, won the honor a record 16 times, with Dale Earnhardt Jr. a close second as a 15-time most popular driver. In the NASCAR Xfinity Series, Justin Allgaier received the most popular driver award. And former guest on the show, Hailie Deegan, received the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Most Popular Driver Award.
All right.
So congratulations to her. Got the Rumble in Fort Wayne coming up next weekend, the 17th and the 18th. And some of the names on the entry list for that event includes, of course, defending champion Tony Stewart. Some other names, Justin Peck, Matt Westphal, Austin Niemeyer, Cap Henry, Kenny Schrader, Thomas Meserol. Looks like it's going to be another pretty big event, and it's going to be streaming. So
definitely some local racers there, so that'll make it interesting to watch.
Yeah. Sprint Cars on Ice announced the first Michigan race for Saturday, February 26th, going to be on the East Bay of Houghton Lake off of Prudenville, Michigan. So if you want to do some sprint car racing on ice, we talked to, what was his name? I can't remember his name now. Does it up in the New England area,
right.
Sprint Cars on Ice, and talked with the GLS folks about doing that kind of thing here in Michigan, with all the Great Lakes. And so they did a test. Was it last year they did the test? In 2020, I think they did the test. And this is going to be the first official event, I do believe, up there. So pretty cool. Put some studs on your tires and go race your sprint car on the ice.
And I would if I had a sprint car.
Maybe they need a late model class.
Well, we discussed that on that show, too.
Did we?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. This might be a little heavy. All right. Lucas Oil Raceway at Indianapolis has returned to its roots and rebranded itself as Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park.
All right.
Officials released that statement yesterday morning. The name change marks a return to the full Indianapolis Raceway Park moniker used from 1961 to 2005. The track has been named Lucas Oil Raceway at Indianapolis since 2011. I do like the Indianapolis Raceway Park.
I do, too.
Because now I know what we're talking about. Lucas Oil. There's too many Lucas Oil Raceways.
There is.
You got the one in Wheatland, Missouri, the dirt track.
It's IRP, man.
Yes, that was it. Indianapolis Raceway Park. Mentioned the, here we go, some more breaking news. The UMP Summer Nationals returns to its previous format where all races count toward the overall points to determine the winner on July 23rd, where Merritt Speedway will host the finale. Once again, they hosted it last year. And last year, the points were a little bit different where it was kind of, I think they took like the
It was
top.
it was NASCAR-ish, Scott.
Yeah, it was, but I think it was more, I don't remember exactly, but I thought it was they take like your top 20 best finishes or something like that. There was some formula like that, but last year, actually the last 2 years, they've had a break in the middle.
Right.
So it's kind of been broken up. This year, it's back to the format. I think it's
the real grind.
5 or 6 weeks, though. It's a long haul, but a lot of races. I think it was about 40 races, something like that. But, the World of Outlaws is going to be back in action with them. They haven't done that since 2019. They're going to join the action at Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55 on June 24th and 25th. It's the first time, since 2019, the matchup with the World of Outlaws has happened. And the tour will start June 14th at Kankakee. And Wayne County Speedway will host its first Summer Nationals event on Sunday, July 17th, the day after the Oakshade Raceway birthday race. So that's your big Hell Tour news. And the Modifieds, I think, are with them, and they go another week or so. I thought I had that in there. Apparently,
I don't know.
didn't put that in. Yeah, they finish up 29th and 30th, I believe, of July. So kind of like it was before for them. One other bit of news here. Larry Kingsey Jr. will be piloting the Jerry Powell number 21 entry for the Little 500.
Ooh.
And will be running the 500 series.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I saw that just this afternoon. As a matter of fact, they put out Kingseed Racing put out a press release.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah. You may recall he picked up his first win at Fremont this year. So Larry Kingseed Jr. getting out there. He was our guest a couple years ago when we did the live show at Big D's Pizza. Was that was that this year?
That was this year.
Why does that seem like so long ago? I thought it was last year.
We just need more pizza, Scott.
I know. We need to do that again.
Not right now, though.
Well, speaking of pizza, it's time for this week's How Many. Last week's How Many was how many awards would remain unclaimed at the Oakshade Award Banquet. And do you know how many were left up there on the tables?
I do.
It was a good number.
4?
No.
How many?
What's the number on my car?
18.
So there were 8 left. 8 awards were unclaimed, so that was the correct answer.
And who guessed number 8?
Nobody.
Really?
You guessed 9, so you were closest.
Ooh, baby.
I think I guessed, my guess was higher than that. I think I said like 11 or 12. And our show winner, who gets our listener that won, who gets a Big D's Pizza, Jackie Ulam. Picked 8, exactly, on the nose.
Scott, there were a couple of awards that were picked up by proxy, and
those are okay.
Those were okay, huh?
I said how many would be left on the tables.
Okay.
That's what I was going for, because I figured there'd be some picked up by proxy.
Okay, well, fine.
Well, you won. What are you complaining about?
Well, I just didn't want you to win.
Well, I didn't. So, this week's How Many? Listen close. This one's a little complicated.
Okay.
It's not really that complicated, but the timing of it is. How many total comments on this episode of the Hammer Down Racing Report will there be on Facebook and YouTube by 8 p.m. on Sunday? Because people can leave comments. Then they watch it not live, pre-recorded, and they still comment on it.
Yeah.
So you can put your guess in now, or you could wait, because the cutoff is going to be 7 p.m. on Sunday. 8 p.m. Sunday is that'll be determining how many comments, but you can put your last guess in at 7 p.m. on Sunday. So there's that hour between 7 and 8 where you can just put in a bunch of comments and kind of make things happen or screw things up or not. And you only get to guess once, so if you already put in your guess, you're locked in. So Chad, Doug, Dean, Charlie, you guys are all locked in at those numbers. If you guess more than once, you will be black flagged. Yep, black flag's still back there.
It's still there.
Thanks to the Vintage American Race Cars for our flag set again. So, yeah, there you have it. So, again, how many total comments on this episode will there be? And it's not just Facebook. I'm going to add up the Facebook and YouTube. Here's a hint. We don't get many comments on YouTube. Most of them are on Facebook. So, by 8 p.m. on Sunday. So, that'll be the cut. Any comments made after 8 p.m. on Sunday will not count. So, and again, you have until 7 p.m. on Sunday to make your guess. And you do so by just putting a number in the comments of our Facebook Live or our YouTube. We'll count that too. And you'll be entered to win a Big D's Pizza. So, Ron, you won. What do you got?
35.
I think we have more than that already, but okay. So I'll say, if I say 36, that's just too easy. So I'm going to go with 70. I'm going to double.
Ooh.
I'm going to double your 35.
I
And
figured you'd go with something with an 8 in it.
I thought about it, but we're sticking with 35, so that's cool. Yeah. So again, you have until Sunday at 7 p.m. to get your guess in. that's about it for this edition of the Hammer Down Racing Report. Coming up January 1st, we do have the hangover race at Sandusky Speedway. They did a show, Chris and Doug, on Tuesday. It looks like the rules are the same as they were for last year. So still no sprint car wings allowed on the Moonshine stock.
Right.
And 2-barrel or unhook your 4-barrel. Unhook the whatever.
But didn't some of the cars last year have sprint car wings in the Moonshine class?
Not last year, no.
Okay.
No. Because if they did, I would have had one on. Because I have a sprint car wing. If anybody needs a sprint car wing, I have one. Apparently, I can't use it. But I may run with the Champagne stocks this year as well. But
you might as well.
Yeah, we'll see. But they for the Moonshine stock, they do allow the 2x4.
2 foot by 4 foot. Yep.
Little sideboard kind of thing.
Or in Scott Hammer's case, 2 inch by 4 inch. Everybody else can have 2 foot by 4 foot.
Yeah, whatever.
You've just been going too fast lately, Scott.
I don't think so. Coming up, speaking of Sandusky, don't forget that cool race. They have the spring cavalcade.
Right.
We haven't talked much about that. It is now going to be the Fremont Dirt Trucks versus the Oakshade Super Stocks.
Dominator Super
Yes.
Stocks.
Yeah, Oakshade Dominator Super Stocks. The 2-barrel carburetor rule will apply for that event, I believe, still. There may be some clarification on that. But also on that show is the UMP Dirt Late Models will be running on the asphalt.
Right.
That's the 9th and 10th, I believe, of April.
Right.
So I'm sure we'll talk more about that once we get closer to that event. Coming up next week on the show, we're going to talk to the Limaland Speedway champs.
Yeah.
For 2021. And then the following week, we were debating whether or not to do a show on the 23rd of December. But we're opting to do it. We're going to do it. Everybody's going to be eating their holiday pizza from Big D's Pizza. I don't know what that looks like, but I'm sure Big D Dean will come up with something. So the 23rd will be our last live show of the year. And we're going to have the Sandusky champions on and probably do a little preview for the Sandusky show. So we only got 3 more shows left this year. Limaland next week, Sandusky in 2 weeks, and then we're going to have a best of show on that Thursday in between Christmas and New Year's.
Right. Because everybody's going to be busy working on their race cars.
Yeah, pretty much. Thanks again to all our sponsors. Oakshade Raceway, our presenting sponsor once again, and they've locked in the first part of next year for that as well. Big D's Pizza, Ron Miller Race Cars, Freeze Frame Photos, Dipman Motorsports. That's going to do it for this edition of the Hammer Down Racing Report. Thanks again to our guest tonight.
And if you'd like to be part of the show, feel free to get a hold of us.
Get a hold of Ron.
What?
Get a hold of you.
Yeah.
And you can get a hold of me, too. Either way. So, next week, Limaland Champions. We'll see you back here, 7 o'clock. Facebook Live, Twitter Live. I don't know if that's what it's called. YouTube Live. It is called that. Yeah. So, we're out. I'm just kind of stalling while I look for the button here. Okay, bye. See ya.
You have been listening to the Hammer Down Racing Report, available on demand on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting platform.